Hello everyone, and welcome to another Top 5 Records video. Another one in the series in which I'm taking a closer look at a certain year. And today I have arrived at the year 1988. So, what are the 5 best albums from 1988? I'm gonna immediately kick it off with this beautiful gem of a record. On number 5, And Justice for All by Metallica. This is one kick in the nuts. It was the first album of Metallica I ever discovered. I was lucky enough to find an original one here at the market in Amsterdam for just about 30 euros. I put it on, and this is a stellar sounding, just amazing, rocking, tough son of a beautiful album. I really, really enjoy it. So, on number 5, Metallica and Justice for All. On number 4 spot, now for something completely different. Although, in its tone, perhaps even darker than Metallica, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds' Tender Prey. Now, this, again, as the case was with Metallica, that was my first Metallica album. This was my first Nick Cave album. I was completely taken back when I heard this for the first time. The entire record is good, but it opens with The Mercy Seat, which is a masterpiece of songwriting. The Mercy Seat is like a rage of insanity, associations, lyric-wise, of somebody who I imagine is climbing the electric chair, and all the thoughts that are running through his head, which are all connected, but not in a literal chronological way. Nick Cave can write with associations on an impeccable level. It is marvelous. Then the next song, Up Jumped the Devil. I mean, this guy has a guilt complex on this record. A great big guilt complex. Up Jumped the Devil. Tone-wise, a completely different song, though haunting lyrics. Oh my, what a wretched life. I was born on the day that my poor mother died. I was cut from her belly with a Stanley knife. The first lines of Up Jumped the Devil. This man has some very dark thoughts, but is lyrically and melodically a genius. And Tender Prey proves that. What an incredible record. On the number 4, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Tender Prey. And I'm just at the number 4. Now, number 3. Oh, this is good. This is so good. This is Cowboy Junkies with the Trinity sessions. And as rough and tough as Nick Cave can be, as smooth can the Cowboys Junkie be, but never for a single moment are they sweet. I mean, they are smooth, they have a very relaxing tone. This session plays like the most beautiful get-together of artists, and it's completely impressive. But there is something more going on. This music has layers. I really like their cover of Blue Moon, which is very good. But the highlight for me, I'm almost gonna say I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, the Hank Williams cover, which is also very good. But the number 1 spot from this album for me is Sweet Jane. The song originally played by the Velvet Underground, written by Lou Reed, and they just breathe different, new and fresh air into that song. And when I heard them play it, it made me realize how good the writing on Sweet Jane is. What an incredible song, what an incredible album, and what an incredible session to be able to hear and to join. This album, if you can find it, buy it. I was lucky enough to find a Classic Records pressing, which is an audiophile one, and it sounds amazing. Love this album. On the number 3, Cowboy Junkies, the Trinity sessions. Number 2. This one is tough to find. Barcelona by Freddie Mercury and Montserrat Caballe. Freddie Mercury was asked to do the song for the Olympics for Barcelona in 1992, and he started working on that, I believe, as soon as 1987. After he had done the Magic Tour with Queen, he found out, or he realized, or he basically finally tested. The exact date is unknown, but that he was HIV positive, and in those days it was pretty much a death sentence, and he thought that he wouldn't have long. So he thought, you know what, if I'm gonna leave this world and I can make one album, I want it to be with my hero Montserrat Caballe, and I want to make an opera album, or at least an opera song, because the idea of an album only started after he went to Barcelona. He played her the song Barcelona. He did a demo in which he sang both parts, the Freddie Mercury part and the Montserrat Caballe part. She heard it, she was impressed, she said, yeah, I'll record that song with you. And then she asked, how many songs are usually on a rock and roll album? Because she didn't know it, working in opera. And Mercury said, about 8 or 9. Well, can you write some more? And then we record an entire album. And then, with that in mind, Mercury started his, what he thought, swan song, swan album, his final piece of work. Luckily, he lived longer and he was able to do some records with Queen after it. But having in mind that this was his way to say goodbye, the album gets even more emotional than it already is. I think that Barcelona proves to the world that Freddie Mercury was not only at top of his game when he made Bohemian Rhapsody, but he has always remained an inventive, creative genius. The songs on this album are of a melodic structure and a development musically which are almost beyond what we know in the world of pop. I'm dead serious. This writing is so good. Mercury creates a bridge between opera and pop, and it works as a pop album, as an album, and he is a brilliant composer. No doubt about it. And if he wasn't already at the level of Lennon, McCartney, Dylan before this album, then this album proves he is one of the best songwriters in the world that ever lived. On a number 2 spot, Barcelona by Freddie Mercury and Montserrat Caballe. Oh, and by the way, he wrote those songs in one night. After the request of Montserrat Caballe. One night. Can you imagine? And on the number 1 spot, the Pixies. This album, Surfer Rosa, is incredible. I mean, just look at the cover. I find this a mesmerizing, intriguing image. And the Pixies changed the world of rock, of grunge, and they began what would become the 90s in the world of rock with this album. There is a rawness, a balance, a dynamics, and a melodic songwriting that goes beyond all control. When they're soft and tiny, they are really soft, tiny, and fragile. And when Frank Black shouts and lets it all out, it is of an incredible anger and frustration, and it's so full and loud. And this album has so many incredible songs. Where Is My Mind? Cactus, which was later covered by David Bowie, who was a big fan of this band. Famos. Tony's theme is really fun. Gigantic. Bone Machine. So many incredible songs. The Pixies inspired a new generation of music. Some people say that what the Velvet Underground did in the 60s, the Pixies did in the 80s. And I completely agree. So what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.